Well, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another video. We are going to be reviewing Money in the Bank 2023. We are after the show. So the show was last weekend, obviously. Pretty great show from the UK. 7-match card. The Money in the Bank finishes didn't go like I predicted they would. So let's start with the first match of the night with the men's Money in the Bank match, right? Everybody knows the competitors: Butch, the hometown guy, Ricochet, Logan Paul, Santos Escobar, Damian Priest, Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight. This match was fun, man. You know what you're gonna get with Ricochet and Logan Paul. They're gonna continue their spot fest that they did. They started at the Royal Rumble. That's what they were in there for. Ricochet was not gonna win. Process of elimination, like we said in the last video, we knew who. Nola, you ain't gotta look like that. Nola, you ain't gotta look like that.
I just have me fixing my camera, pulling up my camera. I just have to look down at my shoulders. Got the death strap. I'm like, damn.
Oh, she heard you, man. You know, like I said, man. We know Ricochet process elimination, he wasn't gonna win. Santos Escobar wasn't gonna win. Like I forgot about Butch during the predictions. He wasn't gonna win, even though he was the hometown guy. Shinsuke wasn't. There's only 3 possibilities: LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Paul. Now this match started with everybody ganging up on Logan Paul. So Logan Paul was the essential heat magnet in this match, hands down. LA Knight was the star of this match from the moment he entered the arena to the finish of the match. Pretty much the entire time he was in London, LA Knight was the guy. And fortunately, it didn't go like I predicted it. I had Damian Priest winning it. That's my second option because it made sense storyline wise. Just with the friction between him and Finn Balor in the Judgment Day, then you have the story of will Finn Balor beat Seth Rollins later in the night? Will Damian Priest cash in? Will that cause friction between the two even more? So I wasn't surprised Damian Priest won. I just wanted it to be LA Knight. I felt like any guy can carry the briefcase, and I mean like carry it for a very long time. It would have been LA Knight, but LA Knight did not win. Damian Priest won, so I'm not really upset by the pick. It made sense storyline wise. The only one that made sense. If one gonna be LA Knight, it's gonna be Damian Priest, and it kind of made sense when you look back on it because they was doing those promos from like everybody in the match. You really notice and look back on those promos. Damian Priest wasn't in none of those promo segments. When you had Logan Paul come out there and announce he was gonna be in there, every competitor came out there besides Damian Priest. I think one because he had the match with Seth Rollins later on in the night in the main event. And when they was on SmackDown closing out in London, Damian Priest wasn't in that promo segment again. Just had everybody else in there. So that was like the little hints and like tids and beats that they put in there to make it be like, okay, Damian Priest could walk out as the Money in the Bank winner. I didn't notice that until I started putting two together like during the match. I'm like, okay. When they doing these segments, he wasn't included in no segment at all. So it's like Damian Priest is taking this shit like seriously. He ain't including himself with nobody in this match. He just focused on winning this briefcase, and that's what happened. Winning the briefcase. Now, like I said, LA Knight was the guy. You know he was the guy when Butch, the home countryman of England, was getting booed. He's facing LA Knight in the ring. Essentially, everybody in this match, after any bit of offense they delivered to LA Knight, they get booed. Everybody. Couple spots in this match that I could have did without. One mainly was the Logan Paul and Ricochet spot. Like when I watched it, like when we watched it in full, watched it on the pay-per-view, I was like, damn. It made me cringe a little bit because it's like, I know when to slow down. I understand you want to make a moment, but that shit was Logan Paul could have literally. I thought he fell on his fucking head. Like he could have broke his motherfucking neck just doing a spot like that. I try to get that one viral moment and shit. Not to work, man. And thank goodness he didn't get hurt. Yeah, he walked away with a little star. That's about it. But thank goodness he didn't get hurt.
I think he was in good hands though. Yeah, it was scary. It was a scary spot, but I mean, they were sped up. So I mean, stuff happens. I mean, it's carnage in the ring. So I mean, I still think it was an okay spot. Yeah, they could have got hurt, but Ricochet did his best to protect them too.
Yeah, but anything would have given the same effect as opposed to a fucking Spanish fly. At the point when they was losing balance on that fucking top and middle ropes, they should have switched to something else. Should have just Ricochet could have elbowed him or something, dropped him, and then did a suplex through both tables, as opposed to just fucking we gone. He said Ricochet just said fuck it, we gone. They went and Logan Paul fell right on his shit. He fell over here, but he almost fell on his shit.
I think I just
I wasn't
more respect in the eyes of the fans. I think.
Yes.
You gotta take the. I mean, with moves like that, there is risk, but taking something like that and getting back up, well, he didn't get back up in the match, but taking something like that and keep going, give you a little bit inch more respect from the audience. Yes, it was dangerous, but everything they do in there is dangerous. A simple clothesline could be dangerous. We know that. You can tear an Achilles just by planting your foot down wrong. So anything is dangerous, but it looked, it was sped up. It looked kind of freak. I cringed when they went through, and then after a while, I'm like, okay, they're cool. So it was okay. It wasn't that bad.
No,
we've seen worse.
Of course, we've seen worse.
I mean, Shane McMahon playing, point, WrestleMania. Simple movie, blows the squad. So
yeah, you making it seem like I'm bestowing the blame onto Logan Paul. I'm not blaming him.
No.
I'm just saying they could have just went a different route when they was fucking losing balance on the middle rope and the top rope. Go somewhere else.
You gotta think though, dog. You gotta think though. You gotta think of something on the fly. But when you already had that plan, and then you already there, like they when they land, they're already like off like the rope trying to recover. And then now it's just you gotta think probably in that heat of the moment, they're like, all right, we're taking too fucking long. We're taking too fucking long to try to recover. So Ricochet like, all right, just get a footing and go. You gotta think from their probably perspective. That's probably how it is. From us watching, is a total different perspective. Like, okay, go to something different real quick. But in that moment, that probably in that mind, that probably felt like, oh, this feels like forever. Like we're trying to recover real quick. Then okay, let's just go, do it. Live with the consequences. That's probably how they thought about it. So it's easy for us to come over here and say, do something different. But in that moment, what the audience, on their toes, want to see something crazy. Just what happens.
If that was me working, I'm switching it up. Either I'm resetting or we're doing a different move. Do both tables.
I mean,
that's me.
Fine. That's fine. I'm just saying. We both picked. LA Knight. I guess both of our hearts picked LA Knight, right? And then we both did say Damian Priest in our mind. So it was kind of 50-50, but I
went all the way LA Knight. I ain't going to 50-50. I'm going all the way. I was doing all the way LA Knight.
I'll speak for myself. I think I did say it. My heart was LA Knight, but my head said Damian Priest. Just like he said, made sense from a story perspective, and I do like Damian Priest winning, not just from the story perspective, but people were saying like LA Knight, okay, this is over for him and whatnot. Just like the same thing people were saying when Cody Rhodes lost. Okay, LA Knight can lose and it not hurt him. It can build up more momentum for him to carry on something else in the future. You don't have to all get it all at once. Like I read something earlier, like Booker T quoted like how he agreed with the finish and LA Knight winning because like he made the point in an example of pointing to Kofi Kingston winning the WWE title at WrestleMania. People pop, for that night, and then as his championship reign gradually went on, the pops wasn't as big as it was leading up to it. You know what I'm saying? So basically, the fans got what they wanted in him winning the title, but the fans didn't keep that same energy for him going forward. It's like when you give the fans what they want from a booking perspective, it's like, okay, they got what they want. Now what's next? The fans are on to the next thing. I mean, we all guilty of it. Most fans are fickle, and we know that. So let's just build this up and keep that roller coaster going for LA Knight. Don't just like let him win it now, and then like, okay, then he eventually wins the world title, and then okay, where we go from here? Who's the next best thing? Because I mean that's generally what most fans do. So I mean, and we all guilty of it. So let's just relax, and I think I love Damian Priest with the briefcase. I think it's long overdue. I mean, he had to carry Bad Bunny at WrestleMania in the tag team match. He had to carry Bad Bunny in the street fight. He did pretty good, and he's also the archetype. He's also 6'6", 6'5", the kind of guy I like too. And I think he can look good as a world champion. He's been on the main roster for a couple of years now, and just give him a shot. I say. I think what eventually happened. Well, this is how I would do it. Hopefully, do something where Finn Balor beats Seth Rollins, and then you have Damian Priest cash in on Damian. I mean, Damian Priest cashes in on Finn Balor, and then we get a program of them too. And then you can still throw Seth in there, and then eventually Seth wins it back, and then you still got one-on-one match between Finn Balor and Damian Priest going for it. Let's just see. I mean, maybe Damian Priest doesn't cash in on him, but that's how I would do it.
I wouldn't do it that way. I'll do it because I'm a proponent of keeping the Judgment Day together, just adding to it. That way, Damian Priest can come out of there and he can be world champion. Finn don't have to be world champion. You do the rub with Finn Balor in the belt, and then Damian Priest cash in on him. You create friction, then that's gonna break up the group, which you don't want. I don't want.
There's already friction there.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. Like,
but that'll lead more to a breakup, though. I wouldn't want them to be broken up from him.
They already teased it, though. I mean, it's already there. I mean, even what happened on Monday, and then what happened at Money in the Bank, which we'll get to, is already friction, and then the Money in the Bank just makes it worse. So let's say Finn Balor doesn't win, and then what if Damian Priest tries to cash in, and then Finn Balor costs Damian Priest the title? There's still the same thing's still gonna happen, right? Judgment Day ain't gonna go on as currently constructed. Damian Priest or Finn Balor's gonna be kicked out of the group, right? It's all building to Finn Balor and Damian Priest cannot coexist at some point. After this, I can't really see them coming back together being buddies, especially with both of them trying to be world champion. That's all I'm saying.
We'll see, man. I just wouldn't do it that way. I'll have Damian Priest cash in at SummerSlam, win the belt, hold on to it for a little minute. By the time it's WrestleMania season, he dropped the belt. Have your big money match with whoever it's gonna be.
So let me ask you a question. So if you do book it that way, you think Finn Balor will be okay with Damian Priest as the world champion, even with what's all going on?
Yeah, it's the good of the group. It ain't about the individual. It's what's best for the group.
But does Finn Balor see it that way?
I don't know. You gotta ask Finn Balor. I ain't Finn Balor.
I know that. I'm just saying. I mean, from my perspective, it don't look like he's seeing that.
If I'm
he
booking
wants to be the top guy.
If I'm booking it, it's what's along with the championships and the Judgment Day. That's all that matters. If I'm booking it, ain't no point right now to get jealous at the fact that somebody in the group got the championship and you don't. So you gonna be back to square one.
So what I'm trying to say is like, okay, so right now we in the midst of Finn Balor and Seth Rollins fighting for the world title, right? Oh, wait, let's backtrack a little bit, okay? Damian Priest and Seth Rollins, I think, was an open challenge a couple weeks ago on Raw, right? And Damian Priest wanted the Judgment Day to come down, right? And then they're having a match, and Finn Balor comes down anyway, and ultimately cost him the championship, right? Okay, and then Finn Balor gets his opportunity, right? Which we'll go over. And then what happens in that match happens, and then the next night on Raw, they're arguing again. Then this is like we may lead up to another match. So that's like, it's like saying like, just because you couldn't get it done, and then from Finn Balor's perspective, I'm not gonna be okay with you getting it done and not me. That's all I'm saying. Like it doesn't seem like Finn Balor will be okay with that. It's like he'll try to jump Damian Priest at some point and try to manipulate the group to go against him, and then you bring in JD McDonough to kind of replace him, and then you still either cost Priest the title or Judgment Day stays together just with Damian Priest out of it. Both of them won't be back in the group. That's all I'm saying.
Well, man, that's the predictable route. Everybody predicting that Judgment Day, Damian Priest will get kicked out. He become babyface. JD McDonough takes his place, and then go from there. Everybody predict that. So
I mean, I just don't see them being buddy still when they both were trying to fight for the world title. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm all for the betterment of the group, but that's just me. That's how I do things.
It's a great group, but that's like saying if Roman Reigns lost the title to Cody and Jey Uso ends up winning it from Cody, Roman Reigns is gonna be okay with it. No, right? Think Roman will be okay with that? Okay, that's all I'm saying. But we'll see. We'll see.
All right, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the next match, which shouldn't have been on the card, but based on what happened, now we know why it was on the card, which is the WWE Undisputed Women's Tag Team Championship match between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. I'm gonna keep calling her that because Eric Bishop called her that. Defending the championships against the former champs, Liv Morgan and Miguel Rodriguez. This was a pretty much nothing match. Probably went about 5 minutes. Most important thing in this match is Shayna Baszler turning on Ronda Rousey and tossing in the championships pretty much. She hit her with like a forearm from behind the back and then choked her out, and then Raquel and them pinned her with their finisher, the Chicona Bomb, and then the Oblivion by Liv to pick up the win and the titles. That was it. So that's why we know this match was on the main card. Because if that wasn't gonna be the finish, this match was gonna be on there. So it was on there, and that's what happened. So now we're going to get Shayna versus Ronda at SummerSlam. 1-on-1, mano a mano. Don't know what it's gonna do for Shayna. Probably they'll go the route of NXT Shayna, but at this point, to me, I think that is long gone. That's a faraway dream at this point.
I don't agree.
They should have. Shayna should have been at this spot. There ain't no reason where people like Nikki Cross as Nikki ASH should have been women's champion. Even though she won Money in the Bank and Shayna Baszler haven't. Ain't no reason Shayna Baszler shouldn't have won the Royal Rumble now. Yet. At least. Ain't no reason Shayna Baszler shouldn't have won the Money in the Bank yet.
There is a reason to all this, though. There's a reason.
But now that Ronda Rousey's here and Ronda's about to leave, so-called, she's going to do the favors for Shayna, and that's going to put Shayna in a better spot. Beating Ronda Rousey ain't gonna do too much. Let's just be honest at this point. But go ahead, since you don't agree.
I disagree with you. I enjoyed the match thoroughly. It was okay for what it was. It's not a star spectacle, but it shocked everybody with the turn, and it puts the tag team titles back on Raquel and Liv Morgan. It sets up another program in the women's division that Ronda Rousey herself been clamoring for. Just not her and Shayna, but just different programs. I mean, if you look around, just between the two shows, there are at least about 4 different programs, running currently with the women that don't pertain to the title. And I'm liking them. I like it. We get Shayna Baszler back as a dominant force. There is a reason that she wasn't booked the way that she should have been, and you know that, and I know that too.
Vince McMahon?
DKM, correct? Right? I would agree. You
would
agree.
That's for everybody though.
But nevertheless, Triple H is booking the ham now, and Triple H is a big fan of Shayna Baszler. I think this is just going to turn a new direction for, make her into what she was in NXT and what she should have become ultimately by beating Becky Lynch a couple years ago at WrestleMania. This match is, I'm not saying it's going to be a spectacular or anything, but I think it'll be a pretty good match. And this should set her up to build her up more to try to get in that top echelon of the women's division. So I like it. It's not bad. And then we'll see what Liv Morgan and Raquel do from here. I think they're getting Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, just another team to beat. But I'm liking the progression of the women's division. People were complaining about it coming out of WrestleMania. They need to find something to do with the women's division on both shows or just in general. As it is recording, I mean, we currently got We got Charlotte, Bianca, and Asuka fighting for the SmackDown Women's title. We got Rhea Ripley and Natalia that turned out pretty good this past
Oh,
Monday.
yeah.
Uh,
That Natalia you be talking about all the time in the
Yes,
previous two
yes,
videos.
yes,
That
yes.
Natalia.
But this is a different direction though. That's why I liked it. You know what I'm saying? I like what she did Monday. So it piqued my interest. It wasn't the same Natalia. So Rhea and
Well, I mean,
Natalia,
I didn't see it. I'm just asking. That's all.
Rhea and Natalia. Then we had and we had the tag team turmoil, which showcased some good tag team matches. We still haven't really seen Indy and Candice, even though they were in the match. So you still got to give them time to get built up. Nikki Cross, that story still developing with Candice LeRae too. I mean, we're going places here. So I think this will be like the start of it. The Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey match that's probably gonna happen at SummerSlam. We'll see what they do. Hopefully they do like a fight pit or something, like out of the arena or something. That'd be nice. Right in that background. I think a standard one-on-one match would be cool too, but something stipulation wise would be fantastic.
I mean, I'm down for it for sure. Anything that can give more like visual aid to the women, I'm with it. Yeah.
It's definitely growing on me. I have been watching more WWE since Triple H took over than more AEW because I'm a WWE guy. It's not no tribalism thing, but it's just what we grew up watching, and I feel like the product is getting better and better and better. You just like I was saying earlier in earlier videos we posted, you just got to give a guy time, and I think everything is working out in his favor. It's breaking down over time. I'm really enjoying the women's division. I really am. I mean, some stuff can be improved here and there, but as far as stories and matches is concerned, it's getting better. I mean, I don't think nobody can really disagree with that. If you do, you just hard to please. Just period. You can't please everybody booking wrestling. It is what it is. But I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, I am too. But I just think that's a pipe dream of her trying to become the NXT Shannon. I don't think it's gonna be that way no more. Even though she cut a promo, a great promo on Raw, it's pretty much echoing what the fans have been saying about Ronda Rousey or any celebrity that come into WWE. So I like that promo that she cut on Monday.
I think it'll be a good run for her to beat Ronda Rousey though. I think Ronda Rousey still got some value left. I mean, she ain't that bad off. We'll see. I do think this will propel Shayna Baszler though.
Yeah, man. Don't get me wrong. Goes, man. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I would love to see something done with Shayna Baszler because she's just been stuck. Just stuck.
She hasn't been
one area since she's been there.
Women's world champion since she's been on the main roster. So I'm not saying it's going to lead to that, but it could lead to something, at least an opportunity.
Well, I mean, right now it looks like she's going to be a babyface, so let's see where that goes and see what they get in plan for her. Hopefully,
just be a brutal babyface.
Huh?
You could still be a semi-brutal babyface.
Yeah, of course. But if she's gonna be a babyface, we had to see what Triple H do with other women. I need some Piper Niven on the screen, so let's get Piper Niven in there too, man. Let's not forget about her. She's great, man. Let's get her on TV.
Take time, man. Take time.
It take time. Next matchup we have Matt Riddle and Gunther for the IC strap. Match. I enjoyed the match, even though it was a short match. It wasn't like their progress match that they had back in the day.
It wasn't what I was expecting. I thought it was gonna be more of a banger. You know what I mean? We both know they can put on a better match. I feel like it started off kind of slow, and then like once it started getting going, it's over so quick.
I mean, but that's what I enjoy about the match though. Like watching the match, I was like, because you look at the story, pay attention to the story. Matt Riddle's not 100%. He had a bump ankle, so he's limited on what he can do. So it was really one of those slow technical type of matches where you work over the injured part of the wrestler. So Gunther worked over Matt Riddle's ankle pretty much the entire match, right? But in some points of the match, I was digging where Matt Riddle would do like some of his counters and shit, like integrating some of his like MMA shit, like countering what Gunther would do and shit like that. Just go back and watch the match. Even though it was a short match, it was more of a technical thing. Like some of the counters he was pulling was pretty dope.
I agree. It's just I just felt it was over too like it being London, right? You know, Walter's from there. I feel like more of a banger. You know what I mean? Kind of like what we got in Clash of the Castle. I mean, him and Sheamus was a more physical fight. I think this could have been more of a technical match. That's all I'm saying. Like give him like slow it down, let it go to a crawl, and then build it up, and then maybe cook it a little bit longer, maybe about 7 more minutes in this match. Did a little bit more for him.
If
It was still okay though. It still did what it had to do. I'm just saying. I think I predicted this was gonna be like one of the matches of the night. It wasn't bad. It just I wish it would have went a little longer per se, and then been a little bit more eye popping. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, not like a banger in the sense, but kind of close to a banger.
I get what you're saying, but like I say, my answer to that is just pay attention to the story. The story is Matt Riddle's 900%. His ankle, he coming in on the bum ankle. He's gonna do what he can in order to win a championship. What he could produce wasn't enough to win a championship. So that's the story out there. If Matt Riddle was 100%, it'd be a different story. You get more of a banger match that you wanted.
Okay.
But it was good for what it was. Gunther worked over the ankle. It was one counter when Gunther was trying to go for a chop and Matt Riddle just fell down. And then this dude did like a calf, like a calf submission on Gunther. I thought that was pretty dope. And then it was
very technical. It was very technical.
It was one counter like at the later end of the match where Gunther was going for a heel hook.
I wish we would have got more of those physical, little bitty physical aspects to it. I get it was more technical though, technically sound.
Yeah.
We'll be getting more of the physical stuff coming up here after you finish with this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And like the last counter I enjoyed, this was the one where Gunther was going for a heel hook, but Matt Riddle countered out of it, and he hit him with the knee, and when he got the 2 count out of that. So I was like, damn, that's pretty dope. Like that's pretty cool for what he can produce on his bump ankle. And then he did 1 counter too many. Once he flipped out of the German suplex, hit his ankle, and then Gunther hit him with the clothesline. It's pretty much over after that. Made him tap out right there. And Gunther picked up the win and retained the championship. After the match, we got the return of Drew McIntyre. It's rumored that WWE wanted to put him back in plans, buy Money in the Bank. So now it's looking like we're gonna get Drew and Gunther at SummerSlam for the IC strap. Remember, we didn't see Drew until WrestleMania, and I think Gunther pinned him exactly at WrestleMania. So now Drew's gripe is that it was another superstar in the match in that equation, so that's one person I had to worry about as opposed to focusing on you one-on-one. Now this could possibly be a different story with you one-on-one for the IC title instead of Sheamus being involved. So it might be a different outcome. It might work in Drew's favor. That's the standpoint Drew's coming from. So we're gonna get that match at SummerSlam. It's gonna be a very hard-hitting match. That's gonna be one of the banger matches that you're looking forward to when it comes to Gunther. And Gunther, and then this was a good match. This wasn't a bad match.
I just don't want him to beat Gunther if we're gonna be so close. Like, I don't think they want to do a screwy finish, but Drew McIntyre came back for a reason. So either he gonna put him over or he gonna lose. Or he gonna win. I just hope Gunther carries on until he breaks the record. We're so close. We'll be a month out at that point. So don't defeat Gunther at SummerSlam. Sorry, Drew, you got to get slayed again. Maybe that may propel him to a heel turn or something. Who knows? I just don't want him to beat Gunther. So. But I'm glad he's back.
Like I said, I don't want Drew beating Gunther. I don't think he will beat Gunther. I think Gunther's going to break the record. That's the only thing Honky Tonk Man can cling on to, is that he's the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion there ever was. So I think Gunther will hold on to that belt until he breaks the record. And then we'll probably get Drew coming to heel and going after whoever holds the championship. But if Damian Priest cashes in, then
Damian Priest
Drew won't have to be a heel.
Yes, he will. Because Damian Priest will be a babyface. He's going to get kicked out of the Judgment Day, man. I'm trying to tell you.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Finn Balor's the ultimate bad guy, Andrew.
Huh?
Finn Balor is the real bad guy. Damian Priest is very likable.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Man, it was a good match, man. It wasn't your barn burner type of Gunther match that you usually used to, but it was a good match. Dominic Mysterio versus Cody Rhodes. The match was good. It was good for what it was.
Can we talk about the entrance first? Though?
What's up with the entrance?
I mean, the whole crowd was singing Cody Rhodes' song lyric for lyric.
I mean,
Even had Wade Barrett nodding his head at the freaking commentary desk.
If you don't know that at this point,
yeah, but ain't no crowd sung a song. That's all I'm saying. Jeez.
I'm pretty sure the fans in Puerto Rico did. I'm pretty sure they did.
They had one of the loudest wolves. This London crowd actually sang. This is the first time the arena sang his whole song lyric for lyric until it was over. I'm just giving a shout out to London for that. That was pretty awesome.
Shout out to London for that.
I love when they do these these overseas shows, these premium live events, because they bring the energy that you need, and sometimes I complain about the sets, but I like it because it's the less is more. So I get what the actual show is the fans. That's what make these shows spectacular. And then when the fans bring it, the talent is going to bring it. So that makes it awesome, man. Just love seeing that stuff. It's like a little mini WrestleMania. Just like Puerto Rico brought it. Puerto Rico brought it. I just love these sets. I wish we can do that domestically. Bring that energy. But I mean, I get it because we get these shows a lot here in the U.S. So when they do go overseas, you get those fans who haven't seen the WWE show in 20 plus years, 10 plus years, and they make it be known that they want them to come back. So they give them just ovation. So I just want to give a shout out to them for that. That's what it really makes the event.
Well, hey, they got even more of a shout out in the next segment after this match.
Yeah, no doubt.
But the match was what it was. Dom was being a coward as usual, being what a heel is. Run in, slap, hide behind Rhea, run through the crowd, shit like that. Being what a heel would. And going into the match, we had Dom winning because we thought Brock would come out there, cost Cody the matchup just because all the shit Cody was talking since Brock beat him at Night of Champions. Figured, okay, Brock, cost him the match. That's why I was rumored for it to be the main event of the night. But I wasn't really buying it being the main event because you had the Civil War joint. So I'm like, I don't think this would be main event. But yeah, man. Dom did what the Three Amigos. Salute to the Latino Heat, Eddie. But Dom was not on Cody's level. So Crossroads it's good night. 1, 2, 3. Seal it up. But Dom, take my hat off to him. He's killing it, man. That's one thing. That's another reason why I don't want Judgment Day to break up. Dominic Mysterio. The match was what it was. Did what it's supposed to do. Now, as you shouted out London doing Cody Rhodes' entrance, we're gonna shout out London doing this segment. Did nobody predict this? Nobody knew nothing about this. John Cena came to London.
Genuine surprise.
Surprise.
It's so much better when we get surprised as wrestling fans. I mean, even we didn't even know Drew McIntyre was coming, so that was a surprise too. And then you get John Cena coming out of nowhere. I just I want to look at the screen at the time. I happen to hear the trumpets and stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, why is he even here? Then next thing it just just blew the roof off the place.
Yeah,
people are giving him his flowers now that we don't see him as often. People have definitely come around and warm up the scene. Usually in these crowds, it started out early when he came out. You can hear faint John Cena sucks chants, but after that, it was all love for him. And then we got this segment where he was, just shouting out the fans, saying that they should come back here. And then he threw out the idea of a WrestleMania in London to the people that make these calls to go these different countries and run events in the different countries and whatnot. And he was trying to getting the fans, to give him support and like, let's bring WrestleMania to London. And then ultimately, the fans steal the show with the how loud they are, the reactions and everything. And then we get the entrance of the night. Grayson Waller, baby. That's I like Grayson Waller. That's my guy. I think this dude, he's got a bright future. I will say he's got a bright future. Grayson Waller, he went out there wasn't routed by the fans, telling him to shut the up and everything. He was doing his thing out there. That dude's he's got top heel potential. He's young, and WWE giving him these spots to get this rub off these top talents. They clearly see something in him. He'll probably be Austin Theory before Austin Theory's ready, just in my opinion. But Grayson Waller went out there and stood his ground against John Cena on the mic, even though Cena didn't really say much, back and forth. But he definitely, Grayson Waller, I think Grayson Waller was a big key point in this segment here. Then they even got physical with John Cena too. So I was hoping, I'm like, oh, maybe they do a match, but Cena's not gonna do a match. But Grayson Waller's got big things coming on the horizon.
Yeah. Me, I'm more old school, so like I believe in kayfabe to a degree. I believe in keeping shit in house and not putting out as many like rumors or spreading as much shit and like spoiling shit so you can get more of a genuine reaction in wrestling. So I'm like the guy who don't like to peel the curtain behind, like peel it back too much, So the John Cena thing, like a surprise, was a legit surprise, and most people didn't know. I'm glad it was that because you get that genuine reaction, even though people will react, even though they know that they're going to be there, but you get that much more genuine reaction when they don't know and they get genuinely surprised instead of people dirt sheets and shit, leaking shit, spoiling shit, who's gonna return, who's rumored to be there, who's backstage, and all this type of shit. That's cool to a degree, but like at certain instances, like keep that shit in the house, man, so you can get those genuine reactions, man. I miss those days about wrestling when people don't know shit that's backstage or what's going on back there. But yeah, I wasn't like when it comes to Grayson Waller. I like him. I can appreciate him now. Like back in NXT, I wasn't like as high on him. Like I'm like, yeah, cool. But now, worked on his craft. He's honing his craft since he got called up, and even before, like a couple months before he got called up, he was doing great shit. So now I can appreciate him even more now, and WWE appreciates him. They put him in segments, as you just saw Friday. They put him in a segment with Edge at Madison Square Garden, and to main event Madison Square Garden, pretty much the last match there was a great spot. And then to be in London, UK, with a segment with John Cena, it don't get no better than that. It's clearly this is what they wanted Austin Theory to be, and I think Austin Theory is stuck in a position where he's just the guy that's wearing the championship belt. It's all like we always say, the championship gonna make the guy make the championship. In his case, the championship is making him, but he just still at this point. Really
I just think Grayson Waller got more charismatic. Like he's more charismatic than Austin Theory is, and he comes across better on TV than Austin Theory in a sense. That makes sense. I think he's got like a natural.
He got like an actual character, and like you actually like. Actually, I won't say hate, but you actually disliking when he come on TV, like make you feel something. Austin Theory, he make you feel something a little bit, but not that much. Like you don't care when Austin Theory's there as much. Like legit, like I couldn't tell you the last Austin Theory match I watched. To be 100, probably his match against Cena and Mania. Like, that's the last match I watched him. He had to get more character work done. Like that's why I was saying to you back then. And you said you was liking how he just looked, like how he look now. I was like, they stripped away the one thing that made him a little hateable with the selfie gimmick, even though it's not his original gimmick. The selfie thing at least made him stood out and stand out just a little bit. Like it made him show off a little bit of personality and shit like that.
But you can't really take just like more as a top guy.
You say what?
I don't think you really take that serious as a top guy. You gotta come out there taking pictures. I mean, that was
never know until you try.
I mean, it was tried. Tyler Breeze was doing it before him. Not on that big of a scale as the main roster, but it was done. I mean, I think the casual person couldn't take him serious as taking a selfie with somebody I just beat up. I don't really care. I think him being more serious the way he was and the way he is, I think that's the way for him to go. I mean, think about it. He has a good physique. He has a good look. It's just he missing something. Like there's something he needs to develop. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a little bit.
Me personally, I think he should be
charisma or maybe it's like do something like what I think something like what Jericho did in '09, heel turn. I think that something like that to that degree would kind of work. You know, cocky heel suits and talking real monotone and make people listen to you. You know, that sort of shit. And then gloat about
If I'm him,
it. You know, I'm
I'll,
I'm
I'll
I don't look like you average fan. You know, you fat slobs and just start insulting. You know,
well,
I just
that's where I would go and take a page out of Les Luger book, and he parts like the narcissist character that Les Luger had back in like the mid to early '90s.
but yeah, I
I
mean,
would do something like that because he has a great look.
he does, but that'll be laughable too when you got guys that are already bigger than him, like Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns or something like that. You know what I mean? In my opinion, I think it'll be laughable. You do something like that with him. Now, if it, like Bobby Lashley, a narcissist, that would definitely work. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Tried
he's
that
already
already.
big or whatever.
Lashley's good as what he is, and that's a destroyer. So
That yes, I
so
agree,
definitely
but
good.
I'm just saying, like if you bring something like that to Austin Theory, in my opinion, it would just look funny because there's already guys twice his size on the main roster. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, yes, he has a good physique, but he's not. You compare him to Lex Luger, as far as physique wise, he's not even close. And then at that time, everybody in Lex Luger's time, everybody was kind of looking the same. I mean, you had Luger, you had Warrior, you had Hogan. I mean, you telling me you got this guy that's littler than Sheamus coming out here gloating about his physique? I think it'll look funny. Yes, I mean he can go about his physique on the audience, but as far as Lex Luger was gloating about the guys in the back and the guys in the crowd. You know what I mean? That's the difference. I feel like. I just don't think it would be believable. I think something more evil and sinister like Jericho would work for Austin Theory. But how much of that can you do nowadays? I don't know.
I don't know.
Something
Me
diabolical.
personally, I don't think he can portray that type of character that Jericho did back then.
I
That's
think he
just me.
can, man.
But
Take a little coaching, man.
yes,
It's really not that hard though. It wasn't really that hard what Jericho was doing. He was just being super unlikable. being a douchebag, which Austin Theory, I mean, he was a douchebag taking selfies. He has that in him. You know what I'm saying? I think he could be a douchebag character. It's just
he
he just
more
had
of
to,
he a generic bad guy.
yes,
So
he's missing something.
he gotta figure something out.
That's what I'm saying. That he's missing something. But I think something like that aspect would probably work.
But Grayson Waller isn't him. Grayson Waller got more than him right now. So
Jason Waller is him.
we'll see.
No.
We're gonna hold on that. We're gonna hold on that. All right. Well, we got the women's Money in the Bank match. List up the competitors.
We have Zoe Stark. We have Zelina Vega. Excuse me. Trish Stratus, Becky Lynch, Io Sky, and Bailey. Now this was a good match. I mean, Money in the Banks are generally always a good match. You know, you get the carnage or whatnot. Um, but we had a couple different little tidbit stories going into this match. You have Io and Bailey struggle with damage control. You have Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus versus Becky. Then you have Becky Lynch against all those competitors because she just feuded with them all in the past 4 months or so. So you kind of think Becky Lynch is the odd man out, quote unquote, in this match. But this match was pretty good. A couple notable spots. We got Trish and Becky fighting on the outside. I do not like. Okay, I get there in a few, right? It's something about the punches they throw. I mean, like some of the punches they throw, Trish and Becky would throw. I'm like, ugh, look kind of rough. You know what I mean? Like they. I mean, I think they started brawling like 3 or 4 times in this match.
Were
And
they
you would just
stiffing each
Trish,
other, or they was missing?
they were connecting, but I mean, some of the punches Trish was throwing, it looked kind of wild. Like especially on the announce table, like the camera work, you could see her just whiffing on a couple different strikes and whatnot.
She ain't
Before
trying to
she gets
fucking
to
hurt
where
her, is she?
no, 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 no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. I'm saying lay it in a little bit. I mean, when you see Kevin Owens fighting with I don't know,
Dropped
Sami
her.
Zayn and whatnot, they'll at least hit her in the face. Like, I mean, like Trish was she'd go to the head one time, then go to this side of her. I'm like, okay, this looks kind of cartoony, but anyways, that's whatever. So we got a couple spots. We get Trish and Zoe start setting up a ladder on the outside of the announce table. make a bridge, fighting on the announce table. Trish gets Uranagi onto the ladder. She sells it pretty nice. She just flops to the ground, and then Zoe Stark comes off the apron with a flying springboard like neck breaker, sort of. And then we get the I guess the spot of the night with Zelina Vega hitting. I guess they call it the cold red. I guess. I just thought it was a sunset powerbomb, but Zoe Stark took a great bump. And then what we get
one thing
hitting the moonsault off the top of the ladder.
Oh yeah.
To all the competitors, EO moonsault is fantastic. We do get EO climbing the ladder at one point. And Bailey just tips her over the ladder, like kind of tries to screw EO, but that does come back to bite Bailey with the finish set up. The finish was great. I think you would agree, right? Yeah. The finish was fantastic. Visually, the way it was shot. So earlier in the match, Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus tried to handcuff Becky Lynch to the ropes, but Becky Lynch broke free. They had one of the cuffs on Becky's wrist, and Becky had the other one in her hand, using it to punch them. And then eventually Becky and Bailey are climbing the ladder. So EO comes in, and Becky's reaching down trying to grab Bailey with her hand with the handcuff on the wrist, and EO just cuffs Bailey to Becky and climbs over top of Becky and Bailey to secure the briefcase. It was just visually, it looks like the new guard is stepping over the old guard, reaching that mountaintop, and EO Sky comes down with the briefcase. Fantastic finish. The person who won needed to win, and now we may set up a potential Asuka EO match. I don't know if it's at SummerSlam. I really want to see it, but we'll see where it goes from here.
And that's what I would do.
Good match, fantastic match. Money in the Bank. You can't get a bad bunch. I think last year the women's Money in the Bank was kind of iffy. I didn't watch it. I heard about it. It was kind of iffy. This one kind of redeemed that, and I'm pretty sure everybody wanted EO to win, so we got the outcome we wanted.
Yeah, one thing I thought was weird was that Becky and Trish were like in a feud, but they was doing maneuvers where they was double teaming motherfuckers like they was a tag team and shit. Like, for them to have as much bad blood as they do, why the fuck is they doing double team moves on other people? That's what I just thought that was weird. Like, I was like, why the fuck is Becky and helping Trish and Trish helping Becky? I'm like, y'all put to be in the blood for you. Fight each other.
Probably because they want to guarantee you that they're gonna win. It's gonna come down between them.
Fuck all that. Trish got Zoe Stark there, so ain't no point in you trying to guarantee.
Zoe Stark she won around when they were doing
Man, it don't matter, man. If I got an ace, in the hole, I'm gonna use that ace in the hole to get what I want. Get that briefcase. I ain't gonna team up with the motherfucker I'm going against to try to get it.
Can I say one thing? I don't want to interrupt. Can I say one thing? I just want to say, I think Zoe Stark was the breakout performer in this match. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, the bump she take, and she was doing her thing in this match. I'll give a breakout to Zoe Stark. I think Zoe Stark is really going into her own on the main roster so far. I think her being paired with Trish was the perfect thing for her. Now, I don't know what the plan is for SummerSlam for them. I don't know if it's my heart would say a tag team match, because we still, honestly, I think we still need to get that Lita return back and build towards it. I mean, it's two of them against Becky. Becky ain't gonna fight both of them, but eventually we get Trish and Becky 1-on-1. I just don't know if you have it at SummerSlam or you have it on Raw. I would do Becky and Lita because they were a tag team versus Zoe Stark and Trish, but we'll see. Go ahead.
I don't know. I think the plan at SummerSlam is Becky versus Trish. Probably gonna do Bianca, Charlotte, and Asuka, so EO will probably cash in there, which I don't want happen. My thing is this, man. When it comes to the Money in the Bank briefcase, right, everybody is so conditioned to be like, oh, they should cash in and take the coward's way. It's not the coward's way. It's just taking advantage of the opportunity. That's better. I'm gonna put it that way because it's better saying it that way. But me, I'm kind of a fan of calling your shot and being like, okay, I'm gonna cash in at so and so, and I'm gonna beat you straight up for that championship. I think that legitimate match is just a little bit more than cashing in when the person already had a match and they won a match per se. That's just me. I know everybody else conditioned for the cash in, the assignment of the cash in, but I like the way RVD did it. Cash in each and every one. I'm a fan of that. Calling your shot, beating the motherfucker straight up. Even though he had help for Edge and them, he didn't know that. But calling your shot, beating the motherfucker straight up, winning the championship, I like that. And that's the route I would go with because I think you have a banger match, EO and Oscar. I know you have a banger match with them, as opposed to EO cashing in on Oscar, not calling her shot.
I know it's a crappy way to cash in, but if you just play the percentage game, right? So we've had RBD call a shot and win, and we had John Cena call a shot and win, right? I think that was on two that called a shot. Who else called a shot?
John Cena lost his
I'm sorry, he did lose. So who else called a shot? Anybody else?
I think Braun Strowman called his shot, but he lost his. I think,
Okay.
or he did something. He did some weird shit.
All right,
Cashed in or something. He lost.
Just the point is, I would rather take the percentage of me basically guarantee me becoming world champion than I would call my shot. Because think about it. I mean, if you just cash in on somebody, you're guaranteed to be world champion. If you were in their shoes, I'm pretty sure cashing on the champion when they're vulnerable. It makes sense. You know what I mean? Just because people don't really like it the way it's booked like that.
Like
me
what?
personally, if if the goal is to be world champion, I'm gonna cash in when the champion's not looking.
Yeah, who
That'd
said
be my first choice.
who said nobody likes that?
Well, I mean, I know you don't really like it.
Nah, I like it. I'm just saying. I'm just one. I'm with. You can do a different idea. That's all. I'm just putting out a different idea.
I mean,
That's it.
you can do a different idea.
As opposed to what we conditioned to see year in year
I'm just
year
trying
out.
to play
That's all.
devil's advocate in a sense because I mean, if you play it by percentages, you're more successful of being world champion by cashing in on them after they had a match than you are calling your shot. That's all I'm saying. I think any rational person would probably cash in on the champion after they had a tough match because I mean, you're 90 almost damn near 100% guaranteed to become the champion. So.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. That's all. Just propose something different. So we ain't seen it done in a long time, and successfully done at that. I just feel like we can have a match, a great match between those two, as opposed to Asuka getting a rematch, and then I think the moment would be that much better with Io just beating her straight up and winning the title. That's all. Now we on to the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. This match, Seth Rollins came in with the what is it, Kineso tape or whatever the fuck you call it, that helps your damaged area. This time he had it on his ribs. Finn was working over the ribs pretty much the entire match. I don't know if they did and they tried to go back to the spot where Seth Rollins hurt Finn or not. I don't think they did. I know Seth did a buckle bomb to the turnbuckles though. Only thing this match did was prolong the story of the Judgment Day. And I wouldn't have been surprised if Seth lost the belt here, but I figured they want him to carry that championship at least until SummerSlam, and then you just see what happens after that. So Seth Rollins beat Finn, right? Predicted him to win that match. I think everybody predicted him to win. Judgment Day, one of the reasons, like I stated earlier, I don't want them to break up. I think this is like the second best run, like I said, in the predictions for Finn Balor on the main roster. This is his best run. Well, nah, I wouldn't say it's his best run. It's his second best run on the main roster. His best run was probably his first run, first get out. But this is a close second because he feels much more important than he did prior to what's that 2016, 2017? Bruh. We in 2023 now, bro. He Fan been relevant, but he ain't been really relevant. Like as in like more important as he is now with Judgment Day. So that's why I don't want them to break up. We know how great he is, but ain't no guarantee he's gonna be like as super important as he is with the Judgment Day. So that's why I didn't want them to break up. But this match served as a storyline progression for the Judgment Day. During the match, Damian Priest came out of the briefcase, and you had the friction that Finn Balor and Damian Priest has showed play into this matchup. So, what parts of the matchup you like?
It was okay match. It just went pretty quick. I just like the finish. It kind of teased Damian Priest cashing in. I didn't like the way they did it though. It looked kind of awkward. Because why would he wait until? Why wouldn't he wait until Finn Balor hit the move and then and then throw Finn Balor out and then cash in, as opposed to waiting when Finn Balor's on the top rope, just waiting to hit the coup de grace. And so that kind of looked awkward. But I do like the tease, and then you still get the bickering back and forth between those two, and then eventually Seth Rollins gets the win. So I think that was the best part of the match for me. Other than that, it was okay. We've seen better between these guys.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan on the fake out cash in. I really thought they could have done something better or just not done shit at all. Like, or at least if you're gonna do something, have him beat Finn Balor and then have Damian cash in and win the championship after that, something like that. But to where Finn get distracted and look, ask Damian Priest what he doing as he gets accepted by the cash. I'm like,
I would
then he missed the coup
I
de
would like him.
grace.
I would like him to um, so when on the turnbuckles when Finn Balor, I wish Finn Balor would have hit the coup de grace, and then you have Damian Priest just throw him out the ring or something, and then you have Damian Priest cash in on Seth Rollins and pin him there. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Finn Balor's fault for Damian Priest not being able to win the open challenge against Seth Rollins on Raw. So that'd have been the way to like make it come kind of full circle. Finn Balor screws Damian, and Damian gets the ultimate screw job in by becoming world champion.
Damn, you just want the damn Judgment Day to break up, don't you?
I think it's inevitable, but we'll see, man. I'm just saying that I would have done it like something like that if you were cashing in. But if it's not, just okay. What they did was okay. It just was awkward.
I wouldn't agree with that idea because I want them to do the other, but I see where you're coming from. That cash in was fucking awkward and it was a weird way for them to further the storyline. But Seth Rollins won. We're gonna see what plays out when it comes to the Judgment Day come tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. Seeing what happened on Monday Night Raw this past Monday when Damian Priest was going to cash in with Seth facing Dominic, and Finn came out there and screwed things all up. Seth got away. Like I said, man, the championship is much more bigger than the group. So as long as the championship is with the group, that's all that fucking matters. But we gonna have this friction with Damian and Finn, and we gonna see how that shit play out within the coming weeks. SummerSlam, things will get real interesting then. So let's get on to the Bloodline Civil War. We have the Uso, Jimmy, and Jay taking on the Enforcer, Solo Sikoa, and the Tribal Chief, the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. I enjoyed the match. I love the match. Slow burn. You know what you get from these guys. These guys are not going in there to be jumping all over the ring. The Usos will, but not like craziness. So this is a much more storyline structure based matchup, slow, methodical pacing, giving you, as Roman called it, flaming yawn state.
This is the master class of drama. You took drama, right? You know, like drama class. This is like a master class of drama, right? You got every spickle and speckle of emotion. Roman Reigns is fantastic with the facial expressions, the callbacks to the match him and Jay had a Night of Champions with the low blow kick out. Just, I mean, these Roman Reigns is doing something that's unheard of, putting his family on in the biggest way possible. This match was great. Solo's grown into his own from his time from NXT to jumping on the main roster. He's done pretty good. The Usos always, they're just showing why they're one of the greatest tag teams to ever be in professional wrestling, hands down. Most people can agree with that. And Roman Reigns is still showcasing why he is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. In a short span. This was probably a great moment for them, being a family that main evented. This family has really grown, I think. You know what I mean? Like, back in the day, you had the Harts, the Von Erichs. A lot of people didn't mention the Anoa'i family. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just these four guys have done a lot in probably like the past 3-4 years to put their family in that echelon. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, Cody Rhodes is trying to do the same with his family. But I think the Samoans It really is a dynasty, like they say it is. Roman Reigns is the best thing in professional wrestling. He may not win Superstar of the Year every year, but can't nobody tell me he's not the biggest star in the professional wrestling industry. Granted, the guy doesn't beat her every week. He doesn't defend his championship for months at a time. But when he's on TV, people watch and people pay attention. He's come a long way from being, suffering succotash and getting blue contact lenses in his eyes, and he's really taken his tribal chief thing by the horns and just took it to different places. Usos going from the pre-match on freaking WrestleMania to main event WrestleMania, and then now you got the Usos picking up a win over Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa and Jey Uso getting the pin, the first pin on Roman Reigns in almost 4 years, nearly 4 years. That's a big one. When Roman Reigns gave that to his family, everybody wanted Cody to win or Drew McIntyre to win, and Jey Uso is the one that pins Roman Reigns' shoulders to the mat and shows everybody that Roman Reigns isn't as invincible as it may seem. So that's great. I love it. I love it for those guys. Really great match.
Yeah, man, really great match. I wasn't a fan of the finish. I mean, like, I wasn't a fan of the pin. Roman,
Talk about
because I always felt like when Roman get pinned, it should be for the championships. But I understand Roman wanted to give that to his family and Jey Uso. And you can look at it as like this aura portraying like around Roman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And each layer of him is like a pillar of the aura, like dissipating away. So like this pinfall was one of the auras dissipating away. So he's still got a lot to give just by losing. So like he can lose the championship, that's gonna be the ultimate one. But this win right here that Jey picked up by pinning Roman, it's like Jay's WrestleMania moment. He pinned Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the tribal chief.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do it for a championship, but this was his moment. So now we're going to go into SummerSlam with Jey running it back from Night of Champions 2020 pandemic era. Come full circle with Jey coming in versus Roman Reigns for the championship. He's not going to win, but this is a full circle moment. So I just feel like the chant of the pin should have been felt like person who beat Roman for the titles, but I understand why he gave it to Jey.
I disagree.
Of course you do.
I get what you're saying. It just reinforces that Roman Reigns isn't unbeatable. It makes everything he does less predictable. Because I'm pretty sure 100% of people who have a podcast on YouTube or some kind of show on Spotify or whatever, all predicted that Solo Sikoa would take the pin. Correct? Then we predicted that too, right? You? Okay. I liked it because it brought shock value. Nobody saw it coming. When we were watching it, I kind of caught. I was like, Roman about to take the pin at him, and damn, he did. So I liked it. You know what I mean? Because like you said, it's just pulling it back more and more. It's making him less invincible. So this first pin, yes, it wasn't for the title, but he gave it to Jey Uso, who it all started with, which I think it was the right call. Yes, everybody think he's supposed to lose the titles on that first pinfall. But okay, just like we were saying with LA Knight earlier. Okay, you give a person that. Then what's next? They already got the championship, so then what's next? See what I'm saying? So now the story is going into SummerSlam. I've beaten you once. I can do it again and become tribal chief and world champion. Now, granted, it's still kind of probably predictable just because of who's involved. But there's also people who are like, okay, maybe he may win. We don't know. We just have to see. I'm just saying, I liked it because it brought shock. Nobody really expected it. So, and plus it gave Jey Uso a big moment, which he needed. He's just as big a part of this story as Roman Reigns is.
with you. We'll see what happens. Now we got SummerSlam coming up. Proposed matches we can already see forming. Ronda and Shayna. Jay versus Roman. Only match that's up in the air is whatever they do with Seth Rollins.
Like Finn Balor.
And Rhea. We had Charlotte versus Asuka versus Bianca, probably more than likely for the championship or SummerSlam. We don't know what KO and Sammy gonna do, but SummerSlam looks like it's gonna be pretty decent card. Yeah, Monday Night Raw tomorrow. We'll see what happens. So that's everything that happened at Money in the Bank. Hope y'all enjoyed the review. If you did, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe down below. Let us know what you think is going to happen at SummerSlam and what you think will happen with storylines as we progress towards SummerSlam. So,
one thing, if we're going to be in Detroit for SummerSlam, Ford Field Stadium. So if you ever want to meet up or something, leave a comment down below.
That'll do it, man. We'll see you guys in the next video.